There is a habitation built by the living God for all of every nation who seek that grand abode, a city with foundations firm as the eternal throne, nor wars nor desolations shall ever move a stone. O Zion, Zion, I long thy gates to see. O Zion, Zion.
Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway, and I'm the preacher at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. I want to thank you for joining me today as we again continue to study the Word of God, continue to go through the book of Leviticus, and I truly appreciate it as I get on here and see the views, see the likes and shares, comments, and appreciate the assistance in trying to spread the Word of God. As you make those comments, if you share it, like it, then it helps spread it to others. And so as we continue to go through it, we're looking at Leviticus chapter 5 and looking at verse 1. Leviticus 5 and verse 1. So we continue on what we was reading about yesterday, some of the sin offerings, and that's kind of the continuous points it's making throughout this chapter. It eventually gets to what it calls a guilt offering. I think I'd have to do a little more digging to see the exact difference of the guilt and the sin offering, because as you get down towards the end of the chapter here, it gets into that. But it's very similar to the point it talks about one who done something unconscious. But I do notice that it brought out a ram. I don't believe we talked about a ram yet. And so, but anyways, I'm looking at chapter 5 and verse 1 for our verse of the day. It says, if anyone sins in that he hears a public adjuration to testify, and though he is a witness, whether he has seen or come to know the matter, yet does not speak, he shall bear his iniquity. And I think this is a good, important verse for us to think about. And to the point, it's saying someone who has witnessed, someone who has heard, someone who has seen another person sin. Right? You know that this person has sinned. You know this person has done something wrong. And then you remain silent. You don't say anything. You don't bring it to their attention. You don't try to help them say, hey, I don't know if you didn't realize what you just did, but you just sinned. You need to ask God for forgiveness. Here they would say, you need to go make this sacrifice. It says, well, then his iniquity, you shall bear his iniquity, and to the point that you've sinned yourself. You are sinning with that person because you realize you saw what so-and-so did and you did nothing about it. So many today, we get caught up and just, well, it's none of my business. Well, they need to take care of that themselves. We're supposed to be there for each other, and we're supposed to help one another as we have the opportunity to do so. Because again, someone might not know that they had sinned. They may not know that it is a sin of whatever they had done. And so therefore, we have the responsibility of speaking up, of teaching, of guiding, and explaining what needs to be done in order to be forgiven. The direction that someone needs to go to receive salvation. And so we become guilty if we keep silent. And so I hope that makes us think twice as we may consider just, I'll keep silent today. I'm not going to say something to someone that you know that has fallen short, that may be setting themselves up for that day of judgment. Again, we get a couple examples of what judgment might be like in heaven, but none are direct, hey, this is exactly how it's going to go. I can always remember, I wouldn't say it's probably my dad or maybe someone else, but, the mindset of what judgment might be like, if it was, a line and we're standing in line, and you're around those who you know, and the person in front of you, and you know the sin that they have done, or you know they've never been baptized, you know that they've never obeyed the gospel, and so therefore, when it comes down to their day of judgment, they get judged and depart from me. I never knew you, and they turn around and look at you and say, "Why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you warn me? Why didn't you tell me what I needed to do?" It'd be a terrible feeling. It'd be a terrible situation. And so we need to make sure we speak up as we have the opportunity to do so. Again, know that I'm not saying that's how it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. God's going to judge us. He's going to separate us from good and bad, right and left. And, it's going to be a good day to those who enter into heaven, a sad day for those who don't. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that everybody has a blessed day today. Again, if I can assist, please let me know. And if the Lord is willing,